Hello everyone, I'm Morden Kanan, and this is episode 3 of my Regrowth Let's Play series. Since the last episode, I've been letting these crops that I planted grow and mature, and they've all should have hit full maturity except for the mandrake. I had a lot of trouble getting the mandrake to breed. It finally happened though, but he's a little behind everybody else. So since the mandrake has now grown through its full line, I'm going to show you what I did with all of these other rows. It hasn't been done with the mandrake. So I planted the mandrake down on this end, and it grew down this line, spreading and improving as it went. So the best seed in the line should be right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to break this guy right here. I'm going to throw him in my seed analyzer, and that's going to tell me he's a 7710. So that gives me a general idea of where this plant is. It's somewhere around 7710, so it's still got some work to do to get up to the 10-10-10 plant that I want. So I'm going to come down, I'm going to knock down all of this and clear out all of these vines, and then I'm going to come over here, and I know that I don't want any of these seeds because they're all less than 10-10-10. So I'm going to throw them in my compost bins. As you see, I've built some more compost bins, and I have laid out the area where I'm going to be transplanting all of these mature crops to. So these are going to be their, I won't call them permanent fields, but they're going to be their fields for now. Each field is 4 by 4. Since all of these crops will produce 4 resource when harvested because they're 10-10-10s, that is a stack of whatever the plant's product is every time I harvest. I have not been composting the mandrakes. I've been composting virtually everything else to make compost. And if you look at these plots here, you'll see that Wayla says that they're tilled garden soil. So you get garden soil by taking dirt and compost and crafting them together. And this produces garden soil. Garden soil does not need to be hydrated, unlike normal farmland. And it increases the speed at which crops grow on it slightly. It's really a good idea to try to get all of your plant growing and breeding areas upgraded to garden soil as soon as possible. And really, with the amount of materials that you got coming in, compost really isn't an issue. It's pretty easy to make. You're going to get a lot of it. Now, this area is set aside for breeding plants. So breeding new species of plant, I'll be using this area. I can reconfigure the layout of the dirt or soil or sand or whatever is needed for a particular plant breeding right here in this area. So I'm going to grab myself some more crop sticks, and now that I've picked up all the seeds, I've just reduced it to the best plant. I'm going to lay down some more crop sticks, and that's going to let this plant continue to grow, continue to evolve, and eventually end up as a 10-10-10. Now, for everybody else, they may not all be 10-10-10, but the plants down at this end definitely are. They've had more than sufficient time to grow, so to use the sugarcane as an example, if I bash them down, pick up everything that comes out, just wipe out the whole row, bring it over here, and look. Now when I look at my inventory, I'm probably going to have a seed that a lot stack on. So that's most likely the 10-10-10. And if I scan that, there we go, that's 10-10-10. So these other seeds, I don't need them. I don't need the stuff that's less than 10-10-10. Frankly, I don't really need sugarcane right now either. So I'm going to take these 15 off, and I'm going to say that this sand patch right here is sugarcane. So I'll just plant one, leave him there. He's going to spread out. He's going to cover that entire field. And we'll just stick his seeds over there, and we're good for that. So I'm going to do that for all of these guys. And I'm probably not going to have you watch me do all of it. So I'm going to transplant all of these to their permanent or semi-permanent homes over here. And then I will be right back. Alright, so I have completed transplanting everything over to their homes, and they're growing in. So let's talk about these stats a little bit. So I keep talking about 10, 10, 10 plants. In Aggricraft, every plant has 3 stats: growth, gain, strength. Strength, not really important for regrowth. It largely has to do with how they resist weeds, which are a plant that will ruin your fields in standard Aggricraft. But growth and gain are both important. Growth, it reflects how quickly this crop will grow, fill out a field, grow to maturity, how often you can harvest it for whatever its drops are. Higher numbers are better, of course, 10 being the max. Gain, it reflects how many resources you're going to get when you harvest the crop. So if it has a gain of 10, that means that you're going to get 4. If there's a gain or 1 or 2, you're only going to get 1. So these 10, 10, 10 crops, when harvested, produce 4 resource every time, without fail. Makes it real reliable. So of course you want all of your crops to be 10, 10, 10, because that's going to give you the biggest bang for your buck. Now, how do we get more crops, new types? Well, we do that through the breeding system. And right off the bat, I know that I'm going to want to breed poppy seeds. Maybe not the most useful thing, good for red dye, but the further mutations that can be built off of them are really what I'm looking for. Most notably, I want cactus. So I'm going to take 4 pumpkin seeds, a sugarcane seed, and I've already set up a field for poppy. Poppy seeds require untilled garden soil to grow on. So I'm going to plant me 4 pumpkins around the edges. I'm going to plant a sugarcane in the middle. I'm going to wait for those to grow to maturity. Now, of course, the way I have this field laid out, I can certainly work on more than one at a time. So another one that I might want to work on, let's think, is maybe barley. So I believe that that would be seeds and sugarcane, and you can check this using NEI. If you just use a U or usage on a seed, you can see all the various crossbreeds that are capable of it. So here we see seeds plus sugarcane equals barley. This lists the various soils that you can use for that. So let's get these seeds planted. And now it's a matter of letting them grow out. Now, the way this works is a mutation will appear on any spot that adjoins 2 crops that can breed together. So in this case, the pumpkins and the sugarcane. So a poppy will appear here. I've given it 4 places for a poppy to appear. That increases the speed at which I'm likely to get that plant. You can then breed the plant against one of its parents to try to increase the stats of that plant. The stats of a new plant will always be at the average of its parents. So where I have 10, 10, 10 and a 10, 10, 10, the average of that's going to be a 5, 5, 5, or the median point's going to be a 5, 5, 5. So I can expect these poppies to be 555 when they come out. Of course, I want 10, 10, 10, so I'm going to use breeding, further breeding, to get them up higher rather than planting them in a line like this. Now, while we wait for those plants to grow, if I look in my quest book, we've actually accomplished a couple of quests that we haven't turned in yet. So we made crop sticks, and we got wheat, sugarcane, and mandrake. That's going to give us some bone meal, so we'll take that. And we made a seed analyzer, which we're going to turn that in. Turning in the seed analyzer quest gave us this agricultural journal. Notice it says discovered seeds 0. If we look at it, there's not much in it. But if we bring it over, put it in here, now if we take our seeds out, we rescan them, just one after another, and we open up our journal. Actually, I have to scan an unscanned seed. So, easy enough. I'm just going to go grab one of these because that is now an unscanned seed. One of these. One of these. One of these. So now I have an unscanned seed of each type. So if I come back here, I throw these in, notice that they don't stack with the scanned seeds because even though they're the same strength, they won't stack until they're scanned. So it's important to scan all your seeds if you want them to stack. That's important for if you're going to be storing any seeds, is everything should be scanned. So now if I look, it says discovered seed 6, and if I click this button I can go through. It shows me all the seeds. It also shows me any potential mutations that are available to those seeds, including ones that I may not have done yet. So it's a nice little reference to have. Let me put my seeds away. And get rid of this stuff, which can become more compost. Okay, pumpkins have reached maturity, but sugarcane's still growing. Alright, we just want to wait till those guys reach maturity. Also, we can craft some things to get some... Actually, did it say that there was a third quest that was completed in here? Let's see. Oh yes. Ah yes, because I created pumpkins, I unlocked this pumpkin seed quest. And give me a little bit of food, that's nice. So next is melon seeds, or barley seeds, or artichoke seeds. I already started the barley. Let's go start some melon while we're at it. I believe melon is a carrot, and pumpkin seeds. So let's do that. And this, and this. Let's just check and make sure that I got that right. So pumpkin and carrot, yes, excellent. So should get some nice melons soon. Now what else can we do here? Well, we have a couple of other quests. We have a quest to craft a chisel, which is flint and a stick. So let's bang that out. Easily done. Flint and a stick. And if you're not familiar with the chisel is a neat little tool. It gives you a much wider variety of blocks to work with when building things. Take any block type, put it up there. It'll give you a selection of blocks that you can turn that block into and change the look of the block. It doesn't usually change the functionality at all, but it'll allow you to turn your plain old cobblestone into a lot of fairly nice looking blocks. This works for a large number of blocks, like here's marble. Pretty much most any block. Throw it in there, give it a look, see if it gives you some extra textures to work with for building things. The next thing that's in here that we should probably pay attention to is right here on the first page. It wants us to make our tinker's stuff. We've already built some of it, built a chest, built a furnace. We need pattern chest, part builder, stencil table, tool station. So let's do that. So I have here some blank patterns. We're probably going to want some more blank patterns because, well, we need blank patterns to use to make things. So I'm going to make some more of those. Then we need to make a full block. So where we don't have wood yet, crafting 9 of these deadwood planks in the crafting grid gives you this deadwood log. And it pretty much functions like a log for just about anything that needs one. So this recipe would be a pattern in a log. So I made myself a log. So that gives us the part builder. Then we've got these others, which are a plank and a pattern for the stencil table, a chest, and a pattern for the pattern chest, and a crafting table, and a pattern for the tool station. And I think that for this setup, I'm probably going to put it down here. So we should do the stencil table and the part builder with the pattern chest between them. And the tool station can go over here. So now we can access the patterns. Now if we put a blank pattern in, we can make patterns, throw them in there. Then we can access the patterns that are in the tool chest from the part builder. Now, I kind of want crafting table to go with this. And sure you saw, I don't have any wood planks left. Well, let me show you the first kind of hackish / cheaty way to speed things up in Regrowth. So if you take a plank and you throw it in a furnace, you will get these singed wood planks. They're the same thing that a lot of this house is built out of. See, singed wood planks. All it takes is cooking a plank with some coal. If we drop these into the world, so I put down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 of them. And we dig them up. I got 19 planks, even though I made this out of 12 planks, 5 charcoal, and 8 wood ash. So that's a major return on investment, and will keep you rolling in wood for as long as you need it. It eliminates a lot of the reason to go out and hunt those trees. I don't mind going and getting the trees, but this is kind of an easy way. And I forgot myself that I can't make crafting tables in the normal way. So now we'll take this crafting table, and I'd much prefer it to be a crafting station. And yeah, let's turn that into the slab crafting station. And we'll plop that right on top of there. So now we have full growth on our plants. So let's get looking at this. Oh, before we do that, why don't we turn in that quest? There it is. Going to give us some more deadwood planks, some charcoal, and a guard. So we'll throw the planks and charcoal over here, and we'll take that guard downstairs. Throw him in the pattern chest. That's where he belongs. And see. That has now unlocked the It's Super quest, Coding of the World, and of course Life of the World, which we're sort of working on over here. So now I'm going to place cross crops on these kind of breeding areas. And because I know the breeding that can be done with these, I chose which crops were on the outside and which crop was on the inside very carefully. So I chose crops that it doesn't have a crossbreed with. So as you see here, we already got the melon seeds. I don't need that many of them. And we got an extra pumpkin seed. Now if I scan these melon seeds, you'll see that they are 565. So thereabouts 555. So I'm going to knock down this carrot and plant the melon seed in its place. Now I did this because melons can be bred with carrots to create another plant. But they do not breed with pumpkins. And since pumpkins is one of its parents, it can be bred against pumpkins to increase its stats. So now I'm going to let this grow and hopefully get it up to 10, 10, 10 very quickly. And again, we got barley here. And barley does not breed against sugarcane. But it does, or more to the point, it does breed against sugarcane to create something else, but it does not breed against wheat. So I'm going to replant the barley now. Because again, if I scan this, it'll be 555 or 556, somewhere in that area. Suppose I'll plant the 656 here. Not too bad. And the other can just be tossed. And finally over here we got our poppy seeds. So again, poppy could breed with cactus, but it will not crossbreed with pumpkin, which makes pumpkin the ideal parent to use to increase its stats. So let's take a look at this poppy here and find out which one's the best one. I think I would rather have gain than strength. So we'll plant this guy. The others are compost. Now it's just a matter of letting these grow, and then we can work on breeding those together. And getting poppy should have, getting those 2 plants should have opened up a couple more for us. So we'll claim these rewards. While we're waiting, let's see about some more things we can do. So let's start. You can take any of these mystical flowers, craft it into 2 petals. We need Alexica Botanica. Which actually needs a flower as opposed to petals. So we need a sheet of paper plus any of the mystical flowers. Gives us Lexica Botanica. This is your book of everything Botania. There's a lot of info in there. Pretty much every Botania item has a pretty good write-up. Next, in order to do anything in Botania, we're going to need to make a Petal Apothecary. This is your basic crafting mechanic of Botania, and we want that to be placed near water, so I'm going to put that right there. And that should have done at least 1 quest for us. Yeah. And we now have our Petal Apothecary. So the next step for progressing Botania that I would do would probably be making a pure daisy. So to do that, we're going to need 4 white petals and a seed in our trusty bucket. And for crafting on the Petal Apothecary, you simply fill it with water, and then you throw in whatever your ingredients are. As you see, it recognizes that I put in a recipe, and then just finish the recipe by throwing in any seed. That's going to give you whatever that recipe makes. So in this case, that was the recipe for a pure daisy, which I'm going to come over here and grab a piece of dirt, and we're going to throw the pure daisy on it. Now, a pure daisy is the one of the big starting things for Botania. It allows you to create some Botania resources, the first of which is living rock. Yeah, you can surround this all the way. I only really need 5 pieces, so that's all I put aside. Just plant them around the pure daisy, leave them for a little while, and they will magically turn into living rock. I'm just going to come over here and check this stuff. So the melons are mature, so let's give them a place to grow to. We'll see if we get melons that are better than what's planted there. What's planted there currently was 565. That's a pumpkin seed, so we're just going to rip him out and throw him away. And there goes the pure daisy, converting over that living rock. So rock isn't the only material that it does this for. Another material it does this for is log. Sorry about that. Had to step away from the PC for a moment. In any case, as I was saying, stone is not the only material that can be used with the pure daisy. You can also use logs. We don't have access to any real logs yet, the deadwood logs will not work with it. So at the moment, that's about as much as we can really do. We can stick that over to the side for the moment, but at least we've made a little progress here. It wants us to create living wood and living rock. We really don't have the wood. So how do we get wood? That is using this mutandis here, which we need green dye to make. We can theoretically get green dye from the floral, from the mystical flowers there, but I'm already working on breeding some cactus over here, so I'm gonna say we'll work on that. So as you see, while I was away, the pumpkins went crazy. We definitely don't need any of them. But we do have this melon seed, so let's go check him out, see if he's improved any. And he is, quite a bit, as a matter of fact. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace our center melon here with this guy. And he is going to help us get a top tier seed as quickly as possible. Throw these pumpkin seeds away. We can throw the pumpkins away. And the poppies aren't done growing yet. The barley is, on the other hand, so he's ready to have his crop sticks placed down here. Breed him out. The mandrake is slowly moving along. Wanted us to create 16 living rock, so I think we can handle that. That'd mean we'd need to create 11 more. So we can get that rolling while we wait. Burning zombie. Good for him. So we've got ourselves a new barley crop here. Let's check him, see what he's at. We definitely don't want this. And he's at 10.99. So get rid of these. Get rid of that. Knock down this barley. Plant our 10.99 barley. Let that grow to maturity. Then we can breed him. Now, of course, if you have access to bone meal, say you found a skeleton spawner or something like that, you can speed this up by using bone meal to grow these plants to maturity. I don't have that much bone meal, but hopefully in the very near future I will gain access to all the bone meal I could ever want. So now those poppy seeds are mature, so let's place down our crop sticks and see if we can get them to crossbreed with those pumpkins there. Now, what do we got in the book here? I thought I saw here super crafting frames. Yes, so we can make some of those, which would simply be a crafting table surrounded by sticks. And turn this quest in. That should, yeah, give us a bunch more. Super crafting frames are actually pretty useful. Slap them on the side of a chest or other inventory, set a recipe on them, and they will craft whatever the recipe that's set on them is, using any combination of items from the chest or your inventory. Really useful for certain tasks like mass manufacturing bone meal and things like that. Don't really need them quite yet, but good to have them socked away in the drawer for when we do. So we got our next round of living rock here. We'll plant down the rest, and there, we've almost got halfway through that. So things are growing. Did get the poppies to spread, so let's see what the new poppies are. 998, definitely better than what we have. So we'll knock down these cross crops. And plant this guy, wait for him to grow up. And as I said, we just keep composting everything that we don't need at the moment, because that just gets us more garden soil. So he's mature, so we'll lay down our crop sticks, like so. And when he breeds again, he will probably end up being a 10-10-10. So just waiting for things to grow here. We got normal seeds. We got normal seeds. Neither of those is what we want, so we'll bang those out. We put down our cross crops. These can go right in the compost. We're looking for barley. As you see, these fields have already filled out. So I can't do much with that Botania setup over there yet. But really our next big step is Botania. Of course, that's going to mean getting access to some trees. Once we have access to cactus, I'll be able to make quite a bit of green dye, and using that green dye, we can make Mutandis. Mutandis, when used on long grass, converts it to other plants. So that's potentially a gateway to things like mushrooms, which would be really helpful. Various different types of trees. All sorts of decorative flowers. Not particularly useful, but since the theme of the pack is to rebuild the world, eventually we're going to want to get rid of all of this wasteland and make it look like a natural world again. Flowers can help with that. And we got ourselves some barley finally, so let's take a peek at you. Are you 10-10-10? You are. Excellent. I don't really need the barley, so I'm just going to put you in here, and we can knock this down because it has done its job. And our 1099 barley can go there. We have an unidentified seed. He can go. There we go. Eat some food here. And let me get a little time check on the video while we wait, and I'll be right back. Alright everyone, so after a little time check here while I waited for this to grow, we are over quitting time. So I'm just gonna probably wrap things up here. Our mandrake is growing in. We've already got our poppies up to 998. We've already got our 10-10-10 barley. And we've got a 8-10-10 melon. We crafted ourselves a Petal Apothecary, made some living rock. Not super useful at the time being, but as soon as we get some wood, it'll become very useful. And we're in a pretty good place as far as things go. So in between episodes, I will probably do a little more plant breeding and drive for cactus, as well as see about getting the mandrake up to 10-10-10 and plant it over there in the field. In any case, until next time, everyone, have fun. This is Morden Canaan. Have a good night.